Have you ever felt a burden for something broken, something that just wasn't right in the world, in your community, or maybe even in your own life? Today, let's talk about a man who knew that feeling all too well. His name was Nehemiah. Nehemiah wasn't a warrior or a famous leader. He had a quiet, comfortable job as the king's cupbearer. He tasted the king's wine to make sure it was safe. It was a position of trust, but it was far from the front lines of history. Until one day, news from his homeland, Jerusalem, reached him. The city was standing, but its walls were gone, just piles of rubble. The gates were burned down, and the people lived in shame and constant danger. This news didn't just make Nehemiah sad, it broke his heart. He didn't just say, "Oh, that's too bad," and go back to his routine. He sat down and wept, and before he said a word to anyone else, he prayed. For days, he carried this heavy burden in silence, until the king noticed the sadness on his face. Now, this was risky. Showing sadness in the king's presence could get you in serious trouble. But Nehemiah took the risk. He told the king about Jerusalem and asked for permission to go back and rebuild. It was a huge ask to leave a life of comfort and safety for a dangerous, uncertain task. But amazingly, the king said yes. He even gave Nehemiah letters of passage and resources for the project. When Nehemiah got to Jerusalem, he saw that the reality was even worse than the reports. The destruction was overwhelming. The people were discouraged, their hope worn thin. So what did Nehemiah do? He didn't give a big, rousing speech right away. Instead, he went out at night, by himself, and surveyed the ruins. He quietly walked the perimeter, studying every broken section, counting the cost of what it would take to rebuild. Only then did he gather the people. His message was simple and direct. "Come, let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem." And something shifted. Inspired by his vision, families began to work. Each family took responsibility for the section of the wall right in front of their own house. Parents, children, priests, and merchants, everyone worked together. But as soon as the work started, so did the opposition. Enemies mocked them, threatened them, and tried to fill them with fear. "What are these feeble people doing?" they jeered. "Will they finish in a day?" The pressure was intense, but the people didn't stop. They kept building, sometimes with a tool in one hand and a weapon in the other. They were ready to defend the very thing they were trying to create. And stone by stone, the wall started to rise. Against all odds, in just 52 days, the work was finished. The wall that had lain in ruins for decades now stood strong and complete. It wasn't because the people were superheroes. It was because they were united in purpose and refused to give up, even when it was hard. Nehemiah's story is a powerful reminder that rebuilding is rarely glamorous. It's often slow, exhausting, and met with criticism. But when God puts a burden on your heart, it's not meant to crush you. It's a call to action. And sometimes, the most important work we'll ever do is simply rebuilding what's broken, starting right where we are, with whatever we have.